The reopening of public universities could be disrupted following the collapse of Friday talks between the government and unions representing lecturers and non-teaching staff aimed at averting a planned strike. Now, this morning, members of the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Education Health Institutions and Non-Allied Workers, KUDHEIHA, start their strike after they failed to agree with the government to suspend the strike. KUDHEIHA Secretary General Albert Njeru said the unions have run out of patience, adding that the government has refused to raise their salaries since 2010. And therefore, we want to have a conversation around that. Joining me right now in studio is Benson Maina. He is an industrial relations officer and also a member of the National Executive Board at KUDHEIHA. Thank you so much for joining us here on News Center.
Thank you, Betty.
So let's talk about the main issues that the workers have and the reason why they're going on strike today.
Yes, thank you. Betty, KUDHEIHA workers have a recognition agreement with the public universities, right, including those other unions. And since 2012, the collective bargaining agreement that has been subsisting has never been reviewed. And KUDHEIHA sent their proposals back in December 2012, and since then the management who negotiate with us in the name of IPUCCF, Interpublic University Consultative Council, have not committed to continue negotiating with us. In fact, the few meetings that we have held together, and we did it from January to around March last year, was occasioned by a strike action that we had actually called at that particular time. Right. So it was not in good faith that they came to the negotiating table. They were pushed by one fundamental principle that we had called an industrial action then. And we suspended it. And we did so because we believe that social partnership is about listening to each other. Right. And even if a collective agreement enjoys a retrospective effect, that its benefits can be implemented retrospectively. Okay. It affects the workers because the illusion of purchasing power affects them also.
Let's talk about the demands. What exactly do the workers want? What percentage of salary increment are they looking at?
You know, what we have done as a union is there has been a lot of problems in terms of the type of salary which is being paid at the universities, particularly for the non-teaching staff, because there has been serious wage injustices because of very big disparities in wages. And the first time we sat with the IPUCCF, that is the body representing the government in the university negotiations, we told them to sit down with the government and realign the salaries in a manner that all those injustices will be addressed. And they confirmed to us that a document to address injustices in wage disparities have already been formulated, handed over to the PS Minister of Education, who was supposed to sit down with the PS Treasury so that they can bring back that document for discussion between them and the union. That happened, and we have minutes to confirm that. Right. That happened last year March, and I can confirm to you that it was just a public relations exercise for them, because I can tell you for sure they did not call another meeting until now recently, when we called a strike, when we issued a strike notice. Now they are now saying that we are ready to discuss with you. Remember, they have not presented their counter offers to us so that we can start constructive engagement. They don't have that those counter proposals.
So let's talk about the situation right now in different institutions across the country. Are there workers who are there? Is it have they left their workstations? Is it a paralysis of the services that KUDHEIHA members offer?
Betty, the strike was starting today at midnight. We gave the requisite notice as required by the law. We informed them early enough. They had a requisite duty to convene a meeting with us, if indeed they legitimately believe that they have a legal duty also to remunerate their workers as required by the constitution of this country. The government of the day has a legal duty to address the issues that the union have raised. And we are not raising them now. We raised them in 2013 when the collective bargaining agreement expired. So it's not something we are doing now. What we are only doing is to remind them that they had a moral and a legal duty to discuss with us and uplift the status of the workers working in the university sector. And even the other unions, KUSU and UASU, they were with us in the Nakuru meeting. They also agreed that indeed the government, through IPUCCF, who are their agents for that matter, have failed to look at the interests and the terms and conditions for the workers working in the university sector. And I am telling you now that there is no work going on in all the universities in this country, public universities. There is no work going on because surely from 2013.
All right. I've heard you, Benson. So we'll come back to the conversation, but now I want to link up with my colleague Victor Gale. He's joining us from Egerton University. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us. So talk to us about the situation there. Benson says that it is a total paralysis of activities there by members of KUDHEIHA. Can you confirm this? And what are they saying?
Well, Betty, here at the Egerton University, Nakuru County, the non-teaching staff, grade 1 to 4, have downed their tools and they're here at the graduation square. They were singing, chanting songs, and shortly from now they're going to perhaps have a procession or a sort of a demo just to show that they're in solidarity with their colleagues nationally. And I'm joined here by the shop steward, who's Mr. Onyango, who's going to tell us perhaps one or two things and why they decided to go on strike. A very good morning and welcome to KTN News. Just tell us in brief, why are you on strike?
We are on strike because in 2013, we were to start negotiations in June 2013. But to do that has never happened. And the CBA which we are having, its life is going to an end in July 2017, this year. So are we going to be without any increment? That's why.
Mr. Nyango, you're dealing with professors here. Perhaps these are people that we can consider among the elite in the society. When you go and sit with them as officials, perhaps, do you perhaps feel shortchanged, or what do you talk when you're there in the meetings?
When we are in the meeting, the first meeting we had with them was in 2013, 2014, 2015, and the last one was on 6th, the other weekend. But only giving out a proposal, a professor giving out a proposal, cannot happen. Why is it? And if here in the universities they write proposal within a minute, only to get that, they are leaning on SRC, who is not going to negotiate with us. That's why we feel so shortchanged. And we ask the president to come out and help us before it gets us that one of doctors.
Well, Betty, I'm going to also talk to another gentleman here by the name of Mr. Wayaya, who's holds a bigger office compared to Mr. Onyango. And Wayaya, a quick one. We understand there was a meeting at America Hotel in Nakuru a few days ago. Perhaps what was decided, what was talked about, what were the deliberations of the meeting?
My brother, that is the paradox of the whole thing. The meeting that was at America did not achieve anything. On 3rd of March 2016, we were at the council chambers of University of Nairobi. IPUCCF and the public universities unions, we were scheduled by the instruction of the CS Education to come together to agree on a document so that we have a professional document that can go to SRC. That did not happen. We gave our proposals. We even gave oral presentation of those documents. We were scheduled to recoup again 2 days later. The IPUCCF vanished. It has been away for 9 months. Nothing has happened. I have heard you ask that this is a place where there are universities and professors, and therefore it is expected that the quality of work is one that is admirable. It is the paradox in the public university.
I'll have to cut you short because of time. Betty, that's all we had from Egerton University in Nakuru County. I mean, there is a lot that can be talked here, but because of time, I'll have to hand over to you, Betty.
All right, thank you very much. But it's very important that we had the people on the ground and what they're saying. Thank you for that, Victor. So coming back to studio as I wrap up my discussion here. So for your workers to go back to work, what is the immediate thing that needs to happen?
Thank you, Betty. We are only demanding 2 things. The document that is required to address all the social injustices in terms of wages. The document that, again, also is supposed to address the wage differentials, cost of living indices for the years in question, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. That document that was taken to Treasury by the CS Minister of Education, that document, we require it so that we can look at it and see how it have actually addressed the problems that has been there. Okay. 2, we require a wage increase proposal for the wages and house allowance. That we were told that the proposed rates were also given to the PS, Minister of Education, who handed over the document to the CS Treasury, and we have been waiting. That is what we have been told by IPUCCF.
Okay.
But they have a legal duty, that is what we are saying,
All right,
to say that this document should come back. And we are saying it is a collusion of the highest order,
okay,
that it can take all those years down the line while your workers are languishing in abject poverty.
All right.
Because these workers are your workers. They are government workers. They earn their salaries drawn from the exchequer.
right.
Surely, does they have moral concern
Okay.
to these workers, surely?
All right.
So
All
the
right.
government has failed us. These are the employees. These are government workers, because they draw their salaries from the exchequer.
Okay.
And unless
All
the
right.
government comes to us on the negotiating table through their agents or directly to us,
The
I'm
strike
telling
is
you,
still
this
on.
strike will continue, and it will be the mother of all strikes that have ever happened in this country.
All right. Thank you so much for that. We hope that something is going to be done so that he doesn't have to be the mother of the strikes in the country. That's Benson Maina. He is the Industrial Relations Officer and also a member of the National Executive Board at KUDHEIHA. Thank you so much for your time.